Second Avenue used to be a main avenue for historic places that have been around forever. There's only two left, B&H and Block Drugs. And we're lucky our neighbor from Block Drugs is here today, Beth Palermo.
Hi.
Yes, been supporting the neighborhood for 60 years or more.
Couple of generations.
Ready to go? Yeah, do it. A lot of music today.
Hi everybody, welcome to 6B, 6th Street and Avenue B Community Garden. I'm Linda KLEINBUB for anybody who doesn't know me, and we're really thrilled to be back here at the Community Garden. Sally Young is our moderator. She's one of the people who does a lot of work for the garden, and if it wasn't for her we wouldn't be here today, so let's give it up for Sally. Thank you. And this is really, I'm just so grateful to be in this space. We used to do readings at the another garden down the street, which was 6BC Garden, and it was very small, and we used to have to move chairs in and out. And over the years, we got into this garden, which has a beautiful stage. So it's really exciting to be here. So thanks for everybody for coming out. Jane LaCroix is going to be our feature. She's going to be reading midway through. Halfway through the program, we're going to take a break and have watermelon. Watermelon for everybody. And there's a cooler here with little bottles of water. The water on the bottom is colder than the water on top, just because the ice was in the middle. And help yourself, but that's, you know, for everybody. So we'll get started. And yeah, so I'm really excited that my second book of poetry is called Appear to Dance, and this is a proof of it. And I'm going to be reading poems from it throughout the reading, so I'm not going to do a 4-minute reading. I'm just going to read one poem throughout the reading. Everybody gets 4 minutes at the microphone. That's whether you're doing a song or if you're doing poetry or spoken word or whatever you're doing. And Madeline's our timekeeper. And the timer will go off at?
The warning will go up at 3 minutes and 40 seconds, so you have 20 seconds to wrap up.
So at 3 minutes and 40 seconds, you'll hear the warning, and that means just wrap up. You don't have to stop midway. So just try to finish up. And if you go a few seconds over, that's okay, but we really think we're going to get a lot of people. We have a pretty good crowd now, and I know people are going to be coming in late. And we have to be out of here by 5 o'clock, and we want to get everybody up to the mic. All right.
He's a martial arts expert.
All right, so with that said, this is a book of pandemic poetry. I have several abecedarian poems in this book. I write those poems often, and when they work, I always say that the muse is present because a lot of times they don't work. So the first one is called Pandemic. A virus attacks the lungs. Breath of life is stolen. Congestion, pneumonia, in 2 weeks, death. Everyone can be a carrier, so follow the rules. Guidelines for survival, hand washing often. Isolate, just stay home. Keep a positive attitude. Loneliness can be painful, make use of your telephone. No one is immune. Our cooperation is needed. Pray. Quit procrastinating, get a chore done. Remember, spring is a new beginning. Tulips push through dirt, unearthing chlorophyll. Value the gifts of water and earth. Examine the entire picture. Yellow sun will rise tomorrow. Zebras are still black and white. All right, so up we're going to have Virge Randall, and then Benson, Dan Foley, and then Burt Baroff are going to be our first 3 readers. So Virge Randall, let's hear it for Virge. Girl from the neighborhood. So the time starts when you start to talk at the microphone. So if you have a 10-minute introduction, you know, you're going to get buzzed before you finish the 10-minute intro.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Thank you. Can you all hear me? Okay, great. Thank you. I never dreamed there'd ever be a garden here, or that there'd be a tenement museum, or even a Lower East Side History Month. Before it became Alphabet City, we didn't even rate a nickname. We didn't need a tenement museum either, because it'd be just like spending 20 bucks to go home. It was just a neighborhood of poor people trying to get by. Heshy, the beat cop, coexisted with Isabel, the local fence. Kids stepped over the winos and glue sniffers, nodding out in our hallways. Back then, they were simply urban nuisances, like raccoons, except they could take the bus. We had history, though. We had Margaret, owner of Margaret's Specialty Shop, nestled between a hardware store and a barber shop on Avenue B back in the day. Her unwavering fidelity to store policy transcended mere retail. It was performance art. She once brought Avenue B to a standstill one Friday, and there isn't even a plaque. Margaret and her husband were an aging Jewish couple eking out a living selling cheap women's wear that fell apart after one wash. The store had a sign inside that said, "We accept returns," and it was partially true. She took the clothes back. She just never refunded anybody's money. It was like Schrodinger's refund. We all knew that, but newcomers couldn't appreciate the Zen profundity of Margaret's sign. We often heard Margaret screaming the nuances to some hapless customer outside, which was a nice way to break up an afternoon if there was nothing good on TV. But one Friday morning, the screaming was a duet, not a solo. Margaret argued with customers before, but this was exceptional. Windows on the avenue opened, pillows on windowsills were fluffed, chairs set by windows, beers cracked open. The street had the air of a theater audience settling down, listening to the overture, waiting for the curtain to rise. It didn't take long. They burst out of the storefront into the sidewalk. Margaret, a short, stocky drugstore rep's head, versus a middle-aged matron, her hair in a loose bun, flabby arms flailing, waving a red blouse like a matador. Bun Lady had it over on Margaret on reach, but Margaret was battle-tested. Margaret yelled, "I'm trying to run a business." Bun Lady yelled, "Why'd you have the sign?" And Margaret, at window-shattering volume, screamed, "You wore it, and it stinks!" Fighting words. Bun Lady tried to slap Margaret, who brushed it off as only a Holocaust survivor could. Bun Lady pushed Margaret into the plate glass window. Margaret grabbed Bun Lady's coat. They were pushing each other, cursing, grabbing coats and wrestling, but nobody could land a clear shot. We could see the guys in the barbershop next door placing bets. When Bun Lady grabbed Margaret by her hair, Margaret did the desperation move. She pulled her husband between them. He was a mousy little guy, but he moved with lightning speed and ducked out of the way. It was fabulous theater, and everybody watching from the windowsills laughed and pointed and applauded. And the fight went out of Margaret then. She just held Bun Lady at arm's length until she tired out. Bun Lady threw the blouse in Margaret's face, called her a name my mother wouldn't explain, and stomped off. Margaret shouted curses in Yiddish after her, picked up the blouse, and returned to the store with her head high. "You know," my mother said thoughtfully, "she really ought to do something about that sign." Mom stopped the next day. The blouse was back on the rack with a new price tag. The sign was still there. "We accept returns." Margaret pioneered local street theater that day with her performance of authentic Lower East Side chutzpah. Imagine a statue of Margaret, arms folded forever, daring you to return that blouse. That illustrates as much about the history of the Lower East Side, about hardscrabble survival, as any tenement museum. She should at least get a plaque. Thank you.
How is the sound in the back, guys? Can you hear good? How is it now? Is it a little better? All right. All right. Next up, thank you, Verge. Next up, we have Dan Foley. Benson, Dan Foley.
We did some filming here on the block recently. Okay, we did some filming here on the block recently with CBS. It's going to be on the news. It's about when we brought trees to 6th Street. I was the head of the block association. And what happened is they made the Godfather 2 on this block. And that's how we got the money to buy trees. And that began the tree movement here in the Lower East Side. I'm very proud of that. This is a poem called Listen to Me. You're someone. Listen to me when I talk to you about you. You're someone, my love, you're someone. Holding you in my arms, cheek to cheek, lips to lips, letting you know I is here. You're someone. Listen to me when I talk to you about you. You're someone, my love, you're someone. Time makes no difference. You put hair back on my head, tears in my eyes, searching for new ways to tease you. Sun goes down at the water's edge, looking across the sea. You stand with dreams still in you and the memories you hold. You're someone, my love. You're someone. In the evening, putting on your nightie, soap and Pepsodent lady, full of sighs, letting the day drop away. Kissing you, knowing when you're about to break, fears under the surface, joy over what we had and what we lost, hidden in the darkness, those crazed times. Hey, the day's new. Time is left. A field with nothing planted. Carrying a raindrop, your eyes are the seeds, your ears sense no doubt. When the journey is over, trembling, making all those choices, never to be the same, there is forever it has your name, babe. You're someone. Listen to me when I talk to you about you. You're someone, my love. You're someone. At this time, I got one more short one now for something completely different. Remember Monty Python? I got a minute. I'll just read till it's over. This is called Don't Fuck With Me. I got an automatic under the pillow and an AK-47 on the wall. Don't fuck with me. I'm warning you. I got a knife by the peephole, a sword under the desk, an axe in the closet, a bowling ball with your name on it. I'm not scared of you. My pickup has bulletproof tires. My heart is made of concrete. I wear boxes and briefs. I know where the bodies are hidden. Don't fuck with me. I'm letting you know in advance. I'm keeping all my secrets. Don't you dare put flowers on my grave. I always look behind me. You'll never know me or my kind. Only Jesus knows how to find me, baby. Don't fuck with me.
That was Ben Sen, Dan Foley. Thank you, Dan. Next up, we have Burt Baroff. Are you ready, Burt? All right. I met Burt back in 2010 at a class at Poets House. And then I took another class at Poets House, and then Burt was in the class also. And I took another class at Poets House, and Burt was in the class. And little by little, I didn't know if he was following me or we just loved poetry. But I've known him a very long time, and I'm grateful he's here.
It's good taste in shirts, too. Do you want to sit?
Sit. Sure.
Sorry for the dramatics.
Stay close, Bert.
Just briefly, this poem is a sestina. Each line has six lines in a stanza. The same words are the last word in the entire poem in a different place. It's called the composer's scale. Consider a berry nurtured by mother, fruit falling, a tumbling, silent child. Woman swollen-bellied, nourishing the unborn. Symphony of colors, the palette of new life. Concerto of nurture, orchestrated by love. Consider the sweep, the baton of nature. Contemplate voices singing the trills of the newborn, the composition that is child. Joyousness of language sung by mother. Birth of seasons, the sonata of nature. Rooting of passion, the birth of love. Contemplate miracles manifesting life. Accept imperfections in nature. Stillness of the stillborn. Uncertainty of the reluctant mother. Marred portraits in the art of life. Pauses in the beat of love. Embrace the indelicately drawn child. Ruminate on the nest, abode of the newborn. Stillness of the stillborn. Uncertainty of the reluctant mother. Marred portraits in the art of life. Pauses in the beat of love. Embrace the indelicately drawn child. Ruminate. I'm sorry. I'm out of practice. Ruminate on the next abode of the newborn, the straining swollen seed, a child, the joy of every creature, offered love, their fountain, the milk of mother. The bird wings flapping free, a gift of nature. Ruminate on every grain, the multiplicity of life. Hear distant children chords of life, silence of absent mother. Off-key instruments of nature, song of the tone-dead child. Unfinished trills of lost love. Hear the wail of the unwanted born. Think song of innocent child. Fragile first breath of born. Touch the breath of life. Shaft of light. Shared love. Hymn of nursing mother. Think upon the knitting of nature. Perhaps nature does not divine life, nor script mother and child, simply sketches to love, to be born. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Burt Baroff. Next we have Yousef Alou, then Jane Spoken Word, and then Jim Seegert. Let's welcome Yousef. I think it's his first time here.
Thank you. Sugar of lead drips on the bed, everyone dead. These are the nights of too many days. Shriek of metal, thrum of pure sky stone. Blood lets brown from metal trophy into streets of madness. And the times are fuel of crystal lead burning. And devil dogs rolling mud, a strand of worry beads left for counting. Let tigers fall from the ceiling. Claw my chest as the lights go out every night. The opera of fear begins. Nothing left but rubble 100 times. Turn rolling in sleep or death, yet aware. Swords drawn, tangled sheets, wire mummy, drifting in death's stance. Unhealthy realm. We met the man with the crooked shadow, where phantoms stray in concrete, empty parking structure layer cakes. No one will wed. Hollow streets that yawn 100 ways and stretch into the darkened morning. Boulevards crowd at conversations and street backs traced with candle lamps. Jeweled strands of amber fade into dawn, and warfare oozes glow where soldiers mound rocket theatrics. And 100 human hunters slide the avenue ravine, caterwauling at the molten fountain of memory, asking who were the unrelation junkies, and what wouldn't they offer, and why do they keep taking our money? But here we are again, squabbling against our best interest, when their only goal was to pour fire on the world. And the one thing that still makes sense to me is that liquor store up the street. They always have my bottle. It's time. Oh, that's cool. Had a hot fish sandwich knuckle made for me in a chocolate square muffin newspaper, cinched tight with janitor wood sink bat grease, squeezed from night cloak, sharpened under starlit dragon, winding out the city walls. Shot to my chest and pepper my face, I greet it with all the teeth I can muster, begging no, please. Okay, the news is over, friend, I'll back off now, but knife always drives home to a throat. Bullet always finds a flesh pit to burrow in, and that's a cadaver, shadow lurking. It's the love we share for this place, bean pie. Dead hand pointing at no one, consider Allah. Pale form, oozing into light, no eyes wide, see nothing. Jaw drops in silence, 'cause sad news is down. Or is it a wheeze, undead sound? Solid answer to every question. Life threads are frail when picked up one by one. I won't be the last to know you, bow tie culture. Carry me off to the rail yard, junkies, in strawberry lemonade, and close my casket weeping. Of course they forget 50 times in court how this could have ever happened. All right?
The sign-up sheet is in the back next to Linda Lerner if anybody got here late and they didn't sign up. And thank you, Yousef. That was great. I hope you come to the next show. And now we have Jane Spoken Word, who does a great show on Zoom. You should check her out. She has people from around the world on her Zoom reading. It's once a month, I believe, and she could probably tell you more about it. Then we're going to have Jim Seegert and Peter KOZLOWSKI. Welcome, Jane Spoken Word.
All right, as you heard, I'm Jane Spoken Word. I run a show. You can find me on IG, and also JaneSpokenWord.com. All right. Everybody's worried about anthrax and bombs, and terrorists that fly planes into buildings. And weapons of mass destruction are an unseen scare. It's a frightening reality of a chemical war nightmare. The dreaded threat that can harm us all when the bombs hit. We're all gonna fall. But check this out. You plug it in, you spray it on, you roll it over, you dab it behind your ears, between your legs or up your pits. You even hang those awful evergreen trees from a bag on a string on your automobile's rear view mirror. You smear on, you smell so nice. Your old fucking spice, you tidy your bowl, Lysol, your cold lemon fresh, your glade, shut them down the strain, and don't forget to bounce your motherfucking dryer. So yes, I know, everybody's worried about anthrax and bombs. But I'm here to tell you that it's you that I fear, all that smell you smear on daily from your toes up to your hair. chemical warfare ain't no foreign threat. You dig? It comes from much closer to home than you think, so let me break it down for your smelly old selves. It's chemical warfare every time you buy the shit that's on their shelves. You're like a junkie on a fix with chemical habits that you feed, plug and spray and wash and rinse and dab and out behind your ears, between your legs, or anywhere you feel the need. But you tell me who the terrorists be. And we're not done yet. You got your leaf blowers and SUVs, your smelly ski-doos and your leaky jet skis, and air fresheners plugged into every wall for breathing you all to death. And gadgets for every thought, all battery-powered worlds from can till can't, sucking energy from a wire that goes to what? The electric plant. Electricity, like magic, it comes from the sky, or gods, or fairies. It just is, don't ask why. But wait, what are you, stupid? Just where is it you think plastic comes from? Have you ever heard of petroleum? From oil, plastic does come. And while we're on the subject of stupid, let's move right along to our beloved television. Big Brother's delivery system and nothing to see or think about. A Bergeron box that will drown your soul, steal your brain, make you old before your time, litter your mind with trash. Like you litter the planet with disposable lighters and diapers and things I wouldn't even begin to know about. So, how are you gonna buy some shit, unwrap it, without a blink toss it on the ground? Have y'all ever heard of Mother Earth? How you gonna get her dirty for the babies you birth? You stupid motherfuckers, have you no clue? You gotta watch just what you do, 'cause you know it's up to you. So the next time you're checking out your local food mart, take a good long look in your own shopping cart. Then you tell me who the terrorists be. Peace, yo, I'm Jane Spoken Word. Thank you for listening.
Hey, what a treat to have Jane Spoken Word join us today. Thank you so much, Jane. Now we have Jim Seegert and then Peter KOZLOWSKI. Jim came all the way from upstate to be with us today. I think he traveled like 27 hours to get here.
Almost. My only pink shirt, pink trees. My only pink clothing. I don't own a yacht.
Tip the mic up.
Okay. We good? I am tall. All right. Okay, cool. Cool. So I saw Philip earlier this year and we were talking about blues dives. So I have a piece out of my new book that I thought I'd dedicate to him. Palace of the King. Yeah, I could spend a month of Sundays talking about the places I have been. Can't get Freddie King's Palace of the King out of my head today. Used to travel across town to hear Stress belt out that tune at the Euclid Tavern. 116th and Euclid, Edge City, Cleveland, the Uke, the late 70s. An urban relic, dive incarnate, dark, smoky, cheap bottled beer, bare wood floors. Maybe a small cover, maybe not. Warm in the winter, an oven in the summer. Ventilation? Open the back door, step outside. Old school. Mr. Stress Blues Band took the stage on Saturdays. Friday, Stress said, was date night. Saturdays, you came to hear the music. The guys in him. Doc on keyboards was, well, a doc. Day jobs disappeared for everyone on Saturday night at the tavern. Stress took some liberties on Palace. personalized it a bit. I bet King would have been okay with it. I've played in London, Tokyo, California, now fucking Ohio. I'm just a short little fat man who plays the blues. Playing harp, singing while smoking, his soft, gravelly voice rising from a battered soul. I've been around the world. I've heard many things. Nothing can make me satisfied but these blues I sing. Trying to make it real. Compared to what? On those dark, smoky nights, you could feel it. We all felt it. Living in the palace of the king. One minute. Okay, so. Uh-oh. Well, I'll do something else here. I miss summer in the city. Not the oppressive heat, nor the vile stench of the subway, but simpler things. I miss sitting on my stoop around dusk, watching traffic roll down a one-way street like a parade. I miss sitting on the stoop, watering my postage stamp-sized yard as the streetlights twinkle on. Careful not to sprinkle passers-by on the sidewalk coming and going from local shops or out for a walk. I acquired these sensibilities as a youth from my grandfather and have put them to good use. Outside, away from whirling fans, with the dog, on summer nights, on my stoop, in the city.
All right, thank you, Jim, for coming so far. And now we have Peter Kozlowski.
Right, there's good, and can I plug in?
All right, I want to publicly thank Peter Kozlowski for the last couple of years at the Poetry Festival. He spent the whole day helping Pink Trees Press out at our table, and we really appreciate his help. He also has videotaped many a Pink Trees Press event for us in the past, so Pete is really a good friend. We appreciate him. All right. All right.
Probably a lot enough without it, right? And sorry for the papers, the last time I did this song, I screwed up the lyrics. Sorry. Not too much of it. There it is. You can hear. I was dreaming, in my dreaming, of an aspect bright and fair. My sleeping was broken, but my dream it lingered near, in the form of shining valleys, where the pure air recognized. My senses newly opened, I awakened to the cry that people have the power to redeem the work of fools. Upon the meek the grace is shower, it's decreed that people rule. And people have the power People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. Where there were deserts, I saw fountains. Like cream, the waters rise. And we strolled there together with none to laugh or criticize. Thank you. I'm sorry. I really should know it by heart. I'm gonna be singing it a lot more. I was dreaming, in my dreaming, God knows the purer of you. As I lay down in my sleeping, I commit my song to you. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. And the power to dream, to rule, to wrestle the world from fools. It's the creed, the people rule. It's the creed, the people rule. Yeah, and I believe everything we dream can come to pass through our union. We can turn the world around. We can turn the world's revolution. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. People have the power. The power to dream, to rule, to wrestle the world from fools. It's the creed, the people rule. It's the creed, the people rule. Sorry.
All right, people have the power. Go out and vote. This is in November, right? All right. Thank you so much, Peter. I love that. That was great. And next up, we have Matthew Paris. All right, where's Matthew? There comes Matthew Paris. So happy to have him here. He used to come to the original Fahrenheit open mic at Black and White years ago. And we lost that space because of the pandemic, unfortunately. Matthew Paris, everybody.
I don't know what you're applauding about. I haven't done anything.
Yes, you did. You got up on stage.
All right, I had a conversation with a rabbi friend of mine about 40 years ago, and I said, you know, some of the Torah are jokes. Like the story of Tamar is a comical story. So we argued about that.
Mike.
I said, no, there are no jokes in the Bible. So, out of that, 42 years later, I got a 448-page poem called The Bible for Dummies. I talked to my, let me get this. I talked to my publisher, Jules, who commissioned this Bible for Fools. Since nobody reads, one breeds and then feeds in a gaggle of galloping ghouls. Said, Jules, let me venture a guess. You have nothing too blue to confess. You lack the invention to do things few mention, either privately or for the press. You're hardly a national pillar. A felon or serial killer, he remarked with a groan. In fact, you're unknown that you've published a paperback thriller. Your aim
has sometimes to be deep, an ambition that puts some to sleep. Some call it perverse, boring, or worse. Myself, I'm glad you come cheap. I personally never would ask you to take up this comical task. You may have a reader, a secretive leader, a man, one might say, with a mask. Some remark he runs most of the earth, though he seems to be born of low birth. Once, after a war, he ruled Egypt and more. Now mostly dumps, lacking worth. Yet after his death, we all know, had occurred many aeons ago, he was wrapped in a shroud, interred with a crowd in a solemn funereal show. This pharaoh was left to decay in his classical grandiose way, apparently doomed. He was later exhumed. Now he lives in a sideshow, they say. He lives underground by the shore with Ishtar and freaks in the core of a kingdom of rides, parachutes, slides, and thinks of the biblical war. He took up to do in this clod who came to his court with a rod. He wonders at night, was he crazy to fight? Not merely the rabble, but God? You're too busy to read an old scroll. He needs something that touches his soul, that might make him smile with his farcical style, with himself in his singular role. This patron is somewhat covert, as most monarchs these days. They're girt in a shadowy mien, many unseen as Zambam and Zambat assert. This pharaoh, now ruler of earth, I have mused, one who loves when we're free enthused. Such madmen in war, when not chained to the floor, when often demented, confused. Hard to believe? Jules guffawed. Ramsay tells the world what to laud. His priests tell their crew what to say, what to do, what to disdain or applaud. Ramsay knows what humanity hungers for in their vanity. Maybe it's dross, comfortable loss, or some fashion in carnal insanity. Anyway, there's 448 pages of poetry in this novel, in this narrative, and I'll just finish up by. Oh, I know time at all. Thank you. You're right enough.
Thank you, Matthew Paris. If anybody came in and they want to read and they didn't sign the sign-up sheet, the sign-up sheet is on the last bench over here, so please sign the sign-up sheet if you didn't already. All right, next up we have Linda Black, and then we have Victoria Radamanis and Zev Torres and Chris Giambri. So let's hear it for Linda Black. Do you want to sit?
I have to sit, yeah.
On the floor or on a chair like this? Plug in or you don't need to?
Yeah, I guess I'll play. You don't have one? Yeah. Peter,
can we use your cable? Huh? Can we use your cable to plug the guitar in?
Cable.
Or you use the same one? Oh, I see.
Oh.
I got you.
oh, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, we gotta sing that all the time now. Yeah, that wasn't my.
Let me just push myself up. I think
I
that's
do have
good.
a chord if that was.
I think that'll work.
Linda Black, everybody.
Happy, beautiful Saturday, everybody. It's so good to be here. I wrote this song when a former boyfriend contacted me after 30 years, and it's called Reconnecting. In my life after so many years, living our lives in alternative spheres. Who are you now? Who can I be? Good lives we've lived, good lives we've lived, disappointments too. Will you go or will you stay? It seems like our love ended yesterday, but I'm living this way for oh so long. It just may be where I belong. You have been two and I've been one. As a couple we fought when we were young. A first love so rich, the years still bind. But two kinds of people it only reminds. Will you go or will you stay? It seems like our love ended yesterday, but I'm feeling so grateful for what I have now, for who I've become and for those that surround me. It's in your ballpark, you tell me now. My world has been shaken, you don't know how. For 5 years I've lived without love. I need time to sort, but can you wait? Will you stay or will you go? It's up to me now, but I just don't know. I'm living this way for oh so long. It just may be where I belong. My heart breaks from an unknown source. It isn't longing and it's not remorse. Confusion has entered, discomfort too. I think that I should forget you. But will you stay or will you go? It's up to me now, but I just don't know. Will you stay or will you go? It's up to me now, but I just don't know. Will you go or will you stay? Thank you.
Plug your guitar. Yeah, plug your guitar. I always love hearing Linda sing. I know sometimes she sings in cafes in Queens. You could talk to her about that. She's very secretive about her engagement. So, all right. Next up, she goes by Tori. She's a famous actress, or she will be one day. And she's here to share her stuff. I don't know what she's going to do, but Victoria RATERMANIS, welcome.
Nice. That's great.
Love your movie, Tori.
Thank you. Phil and Linda are really inspiring. They took me out for dinner because I got into the actor's studio recently, and it was like having family in New York. It was very nice. I didn't know I'd be reading today, and so I'm gonna borrow from Mary Oliver because my art is expressing myself through other people's words, not necessarily writing my own. The last time I read this, it was to my grandmother who passed away in February. She came through Ellis Island from Latvia via a German work camp when she was 7 years old, and she always had the best gardens, so. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscape, over the prairies and the deep trees and the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over announcing your place in the family of things. Thank you. I don't really have anything else, I'm sorry. My short film, Alien, is on Vimeo. It was a staff pick, which is for the younger online generation, very exciting. And it's about the struggles of green cards and immigration here in America during the Trump era. ICE was doing a really fun thing where they would entrap people at the green card office before they could be approved and have their paperwork passed. And many American citizens were also arrested in the process. So the short film covers that. It's online. It's a really beautiful piece. I'm exceedingly proud of it, and thank you. They can find a link to it on Phil's Facebook page. Thank you.
Thank you, Tori. All right, next up we have Zev Torres, and then we have Chris Giambri. Zev Torres, everybody.
My spy boy and your spy boy were sitting by the fire. My spy boy said to your spy boy, I'm going to set your flag on fire. Talking about, hey now, Ike, nay, Giacomo Fino, anane, Giacomo Fino, nay. Hope ascending one staccato cooled night, riding waves of swelling tones, a fanfare heralding a soiree sublime, spirits and their partners spiraling nightward rise, first trace of nightfall, lush and resplendent, curling and beckoning like a trickster beguiling, with shifting tempos pulsing frenetically, swinging and vamping and lilting hopefully, traversing the labyrinth on crystalline hopeful, waving as night falls, alighting on a moon boil, gyrating, vibrating, whirling and weaving, nocturnal patterns and patterns only pleasing. Keep a clean nose. Watch out for the plain clothes. Nay. You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. Nay. The times, here we are, tangled up in blue. Nay. The times, they are changing. We know what to do. Nay. Gracefully falling, fully faster than starlight, landing on the beam of a comet's tail light, shining brightly without dimming night's darkness, sparkling lightly, blending heat with coolness. Stellar blazes emanate beats diverse, syncopating flares fade, disperse. Smoldering embers spire silently burst. A star-crossed spark streaks across the universe. Hey now, I go on. It's all right. More than all right, to talk back to the sun, denounce the moon, ridicule the stars, so long as you keep in mind that they will continue in their own set ways, and that you carry no more influence than does the wind. Giacomo Fino anane, Giacomo Fino anane.
All right. right, and we got another Giambri in the house. This is Chris Giambri, who recently made a short film starring Philip Giambri, so you can look for that soon. Welcome, Chris Giambri, first time at Fahrenheit Open Mic.
Thank you. Yeah, this poem is actually from an adaptation of this screenplay that, I casted Philip in this film as St. Mark's Legend, obviously. So, yeah, it's coming soon. I haven't found good news since long boat rides and smoking chimneys. You know, if something has just a little bit of gravity, it could change everything, like a rock at the bottom of the ocean. Who wants to feel like a dusty raincoat in the middle of the summer? To not be seen. To be on an island all alone with your favorite song playing. One day, rent's never going to be due, and I'll never have to set alarms for the middle of the day. Cherish the day. Light something on fire. Dance in the rain. What if we run away? Crashing buildings, broken skateboards, new dress with a dusty lens, red velvet and black smoke, golden sun through a window, the perfume department, an 800 number black hole. I don't dream anymore. Bells toll and everything hurts. Need a new diet, new doctor, new t-shirt. Give it all up and run away together. Finish lines scare me and I never want rides to end. If I tap in too far, what will I lose? If I could just lose me, will I find you? Cop sirens make me dance like crashing pots and pans. Even boats sink. Everything above my chest is sore. Heavy beats, brick walls, and 1,000 flights. So I think about clouds like white linen and burning sunsets littered with airplanes and forgotten balloons. It's 9 a.m. and my ears bleed from church bells, clock towers, and strobe light music. I'd rather just not think of those things. Stay at home and just dance. The eye of the storm. You know, my problem is I become a little bit of everything, so there's nothing left. The right diet or motivational speaker can't fix something so deep like a well. But don't turn around. You made it halfway through the woods. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chris. Just to give you a heads up, we're going to have a watermelon break around 3:30, and next coming up, we're going to have MEGHAN, GRUPPOSO, Steve Klett, and Madeline ARTENBERG. But before we do that, I'm going to read another poem from my forthcoming book, Appear to Dance, which is a collection of pandemic poetry. And I'm reading all the abecedarian poems. If you don't know what that is, it means the first letter starts with A and the last line in the poem ends with Z. And these are written by the Muse, because when they work, I know the Muse is in the room with me. This is called Bright Days. Avalanche of feelings blows me down. Carcass found roadside decays. Evolution changes everything. Fossil fuels are found at gas pumps. Hydrangeas are dwarfed by irises blooming. Jelly beans, mailed order kept in my pocket. Living in isolation, marking time in nowhere land, I'll avoid opium dens and prison cells. Quarantine life is a trap, rescue me. Turning a new leaf, understand, vegetable gardens need water to thrive. I'll create a zest to shade the yellow sun and plant zinnias embodying friendship. Thank you. And now we have MEGHAN, GRUPPOSO.
Let's see. It's okay. Yeah, cool. Thank you. That was lovely, Linda. All right. This is based on a true story. Showdown at the bike shop. Carrion versus crow. One's wide wingspan against the other's caw, caw, caw. Vulture knows how big a yard is and brags about it. Vulture says, I am the expanse. Fear me. Vulture says size matters. Steadfast crow, determined crow, persistent and indifferent, sharer of shiny objects, a nail, a pop top, a stone with excess mica, able to count and recall, quick when chased with a broom, caw. Bringer of death and eater of death, how to stand off, I tell the goth girl. There's a dimensional portal in the bathroom, she replies. I'm the crow. I count wingtip feathers, confirm head shape, long for this to be something other than vulture. Circular tendencies, patience, and ominous portent. Which one will fall? Who will give up? Caw. Summer sun, a menace, requires endurance. Which one's wind out of sails on the newly laid blacktop? Which one at the bottom of a spiraling vulture whirlpool, unknowingly offering what is no longer of use to them? I wait. I watch. Caw. And for something different, plume. Call from a distant tree, rouse and stir. I descend stairs. Moonless sky unlocks the door. Listen. Clicking claws on clay shingles. Kinetic display. A calling train. I'm partial to your peacock cry. Rustle, rattle, trill, set, alight, be smoke.
Thank you. That was Megan Grupposo, and I know she has beautiful handmade chapbooks. They are not only a work of art, the poetry is exquisite. I don't know if she has them with her. She does. They're a limited run. There's only so many, and when they're gone, they're going to be gone, right? So you could see Megan during the break and get a book maybe before you go home. All right, here we go. Next up, we have Steve Klett. I met Steve Klett when I was at the New School a long time ago. Welcome, Steve.
I also have a poem about a vulture, and it takes place on the day of the earthquake. Over the field, a vulture circles, circling, 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 hundreds of years passing through its red-tipped wings. Swaying grass, tree-lined branches, oaks, 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 a colonnade, a plaque, hundreds of years passing through its red-tipped wings. We follow young ghosts into the wood. An earthquake goes unnoticed. 3 days of rain, nothing but flood. Vulture follows us, follows our ghosts down a flooded path with water and sweat. This way to the bridge, this way to our rushing youth. You, river, are not still. You, river, are movement incarnate. Move, move, move. A movement of time is present. The movement of time is oppressive, an invisible hand coercing us into future, pushing us along if we do not arrive. There's a wooden plank leading to another wooden plank leading to a square stone. The rain has stopped. The earth has stopped. The river has never stopped. A rickety bridge memory, hands held on its undersized, swinging half-naked body, swinging over hoots and hollers, flopping and flailing. This is the sound of young flesh melding with the sun, the sound of skin ripping. All of us fell into the rushing water, now rushing into land, swallowing us, breaking us, disconnecting our movements down to the river. Give in. Fall into the mud, run across the flooded shore, movement of earth underneath an unsteady, fracked, broken back, reflecting in the sun. The mud is cool, earth unforgiving. Dead zone becomes farmland, becomes roads, becomes towns, becomes city. Vulture follows us. We are weak and unguarded. Our insides are disoriented. The skies open again. The tree line falls into the colonnade. We look down. Grass feathers are unattached, lying on the grass. The body taken up, up, up.
Thank you, Steve Klett. And now we have our lovely timekeeper who will keep time of the timekeeper. All right, we're going to trust Madeline. All right, she has a brand new poem, I think.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I'm going to read one from Pinktree's Press, Naming a Hurricane, which came out last year. And then I'm going to read the first new poem in 2 years. That'll be the second one. So hallelujah to that. I was a photojournalist, by the way, for 10 years. I had a press pass, and I lived for a year in Athens. So this is Demokratia, epigraph. 4 colonels seized power over Greece in 1967 and were overthrown in 1974. See Casimiris' Causes of the 1967 Greek coup. Dirty hippies, spat the Athens police, clubbing sleeping-bagged feet. Long hairs were dragged from the American Express line as they waited in Constitution Square. The aroma of Retsina and fear hung in the blue sky. Theodorakis was banned from the radio. We sat in crowded cafes, tried to appear calm when locals said, once taken, never returned. Waiters and taxi drivers may be informants. We Americans asked how this happened in democracy's birthplace. The response, U.S. fleet in our harbor for years, not cruise ships. Our colonels must say Efkaristo each time they accept your dollars. At night, young Greek men escorted us to clubs. We bought stacks of white dinner plates. Oppa! Smashed them against mosaic floors. Oppa! Each crescendo covered the web of whispers. And here is the debut of, it's a drop title. What if you're parked on 6th and West 3rd and your door is blasted off by a speeding driver? You opened the door 1 second earlier and stepped out. The window broke in shards and found your neck. You hadn't lived in Brooklyn during the 80s. Thieves hadn't sledgehammered into your living room and grabbed everything. The loud one hadn't called to his buddy, already on the stairs by your 3rd floor bedroom, that they couldn't carry anymore. You hadn't been late to your job in Tower 1, Punch and Judy duking it out in your head on what to wear that September morning. You tried exorcism by self-help book, Be Here Now by Ram Dass. Tried counting the number of what-ifs like rosary beads, thanking angels by name. What-ifs are like running with the bulls. What-ifs are whispers from angels, whispers from bulls. What if you're being dreamt by an angel?
All right, Madeline, very wonderfully done. Thank you so much. Now we have John Holland, and then Chris Iconicide, and then Rhonda Zangwill. So let's hear it for John Holland. John, do you want a chair? Do you want to sit?
Yeah, I think and I'm wearing my Suzanne Bacon t-shirt because I'm waiting for her to come back from tour in Europe, and I've asked her to sing lead on my Anne Frank song that I want to present to the Anne Frank House later this year. And this song I'm doing is for my earliest musical mentor, the one who got me, no, I'm gonna sit. The one who got me writing songs. And he passed about a month ago, and I promised his wife that I would dedicate this song to him. I walk the avenue, the more things change, there's nothing new. The cars go by, the flags all fly. Sometimes I have to smile, my clothes go in and out of style. But I don't care what people wear. Where do I go when this parade ends? What new plateau can I ascend? I wanna fade away, just like MacArthur said old soldiers do. Wanted to blend into the air inside of you, and with each day, in every breath I fade away. Acted so bubbly, yet it ended so suddenly. Watch the news, so much to lose. We come into this life at the whim of man and wife. Who are these two? I wish I knew. Where do I go to run from this guilt? Each bridge I burn just gets rebuilt. I wanna fade away, just like MacArthur said old soldiers do. Wanted to blend into the air inside of you, and with each day, in every breath I fade away. And you take it hard on yourself, and you should know much better. And I take it hard on myself. I saw the glass half full, you let the water spill. It's never really fair, pretending we don't really care. Tell the kid it somehow fits, and then it all comes clear in some random song we hear. The truth revealed, our fate is sealed. The earth is home for such a short time. I've always known this dream must die. I wanna fade away, just like MacArthur said old soldiers do. Wanted to blend into the air inside of you, and with each day, in every breath I fade away. In every breath I fade away. In every breath I fade away. Thank you kindly. Always the Chelsea boot with a Cuban heel. Ever since I saw the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show.
How many pair do you have, John? Tell the truth.
18.
Oh, wow. He always has cool boots. I found he has 18 pairs of boots. All right, we're gonna have Chris Iconicide, then Rhonda, and then we'll have our feature Jane LaCroix, and then we're gonna take a watermelon break. So,
John.
Oh, she.
He walked away without his tape.
Thank you. All right, welcome, Chris, and he's been kind enough to videotape today for us, so thank you, Chris, for doing that.
Yeah, I'm Chris from ICONICIDE. My band's been around for 35 years. Also, if you want to check out my latest book, Notes from the Exploding Library, it's online for $17.76. If you got $10, I'll flip you one. And I'm going to read an excerpt from the autobiographical portion called An Exploded Life. Another epiphany, equally as important, was the blackout of 1977. Where were you when the lights went out? Was the question of subsequent decade. Residents of Bushwick at the time would never tire of sharing their tales, of being caught out there, of the chaos that ensued, the looting, the mayhem, the fires, the desperate shrieking violence of a city finally awake, cut off from its steady flow of distraction and self-deception. It was a Wednesday night, or at least that's how I remember it, because that's when I bathed. Saturday night baths were fine for other people. I had just closed the door and undressed, drawing a deep hot tub full of water I knew would inexorably turn gray, as another week's layer of protective dirt was sloughed off like a discarded carapace. If I was lucky, no one would notice the difference. My socks would still develop the same holes over the big toe, ready for me to flip them over the other way, so the holes would be underneath my pinky toe instead, until all my socks had two holes each. Lifting my leg over the threshold, I lowered it, toes pointed towards the steaming bath, which I preferred hot enough so I could envision myself going totally numb. At the precise instant my big toe touched the water, the lights went out. In that fateful split second, I believed wholeheartedly that I had done it. I froze, waiting for the powers that be to realize I didn't mean to. Take it back, I thought. Turn the lights back on. It didn't work. Of course I got in and finished my bath. I would probably be punished for turning off the lights, but it was bath night, and I had my priorities. Who knew when I would ever be able to bathe again? Was this the end? When I dressed, opened the bathroom door, and stepped out into the kitchen, the hush that had descended was palpable. We're here. We're all here. Of course we're here. There was never any hope of escape. The Leparis. Let's check with the Leparis. After a few dizzying moments, it was indeed established that it's not just us. Anthony and Angela confirmed it. The rest of the night, many people, those not out there dropping their own disguises, hunkered down and waited for the world to come back. I waited for it to end. Sadly, it didn't. That wasn't my epiphany, though. That came with the aftermath. Back then, we were never allowed to venture far, but still, there was the subway. The Myrtle Wyckoff Avenue stop was serviced at street level by a structure which, like my birthplace, does not exist anymore, resembling one of those damned Quonset huts old Stiffy King liked to write about, nestling underneath the elevated tracks, one side stone, the other an incongruously vast rooftop, sloping down to chest level from 2 stories high, painted some forgotten color, now bluish gray. I've searched for quite some time for photographs of the structure, yet had found none. It was always a surreal experience entering and exiting that station, like I'd crossed a threshold into another frontier. When I was a teenager, Peter Edson invited me after school to hang out and play a pocket worth of video games at the larger of 2 arcades located in Penn Station, this one at the center. We settled on a marathon group session of Gauntlet with a slightly older kid who would only identify himself as the warrior. I always play the warrior, while Pete played the elf. He still does that. I arrived past 8:30 to find my father waiting on the other side of the turnstile, glaring and furiously chewing gum, his gun belt already in hand. I don't remember that particular beating more or less than any of the countless others. I only remember that defensive posture I always affected, the one that resulted in him, number one, beating my spine out of shape and knocking my right shoulder blade out crooked. At times, I wonder if my childhood hernia came about naturally. On summer weekday afternoons, I would sometimes ride the M train one stop to Knickerbocker Avenue. However, as often as not, I would overshoot this station and ride as far as Manhattan to Essex Street and then ride back to Bushwick. Perhaps at those times, as much as I dared, I entertained visions of escape. However doomed, however short-lived, I always returned home. When the blackout hit, this journey took on a magical cast, and years of repeated exposure drummed deep the aforementioned epiphany. For when everything went black in Bushwick and all hell broke loose, acres of densely populated slum were burned to the ground, until from horizon to horizon, nothing remained but what I would later refer to in my comic book Sick World as rolling hills of rubble, which may be a building here and there, standing like a burned matchstick or decayed tooth. At sundown, the sky and land were set ablaze as far as the eye could see. The devastation was awe-inspiring. To me, it was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. The city lay naked and proud, hidden no more. Every time it rendered me speechless. Speeding through that unabashed hellscape, I did my best to drink it in at cellular level, to preserve those moments within me. This is how the world looked when it ended, and I wished with every fiber of my being that people would just let it end. Let it all end. As much as it warmed my heart, the knowledge that everything could die after all, I knew with creeping, sucking dread that it would not be allowed a natural death, and that the mindless cockroach race of humanity would infest it again. Whether it be years or decades into a future that had no right to exist, I knew what was built would be more convoluted and pointless, and far more stupid. Everything since then has proven me right. Apologies if I ran over. Those from the Exploring Library got copies for $10 each if you're interested.
All right, now we'll have Rhonda, and then we'll have our feature Jane LaCroix, and that's the real treat, and then we'll have a treat of watermelon, so hope you stay around. Rhonda Z.
Probably even more. All right, how's
I should have dropped the intro.
Is that good? You all here? Okay, I want to, I'm dedicating this to my friend Lori, who died last year. It's called The Key to Life, Mott Street. Right? Closer? Oh. It's called The Key to Life, Mott Street, 1982. Mott Street was our anchor, your place 6 flights up. Each story guarded by a pointy-eared, buggy-eyed gargoyle, our ever-ready silent sentry, always watching. On Sundays, voices young and old echo from Houston to Bleecker. Hey, we're here, toss it. There are no door buzzers on Mott Street. One by one, as if on cue, windows open and a chorus line of heads poke into the pungent New York City stratosphere, followed closely by arms and hands, some bejeweled, others bare. Each clutches a balled-up woolly sock inside the many-notched front door key. You always made sure to make a double knot in that ankle. We feared an errant bounce from your sky-high Mott Street window might send the key on a renegade journey. Maybe swept away in a gully of gray slush buffeted by currents of floating detritus from some earlier generation. Or ricocheting off the dented metal trash can only to clatter down the treacherous basement steps and then lodge itself among barrels of olive oil we were sure were illegally imported by the De La Rosas, who supplied all of Little Italy. By luck, I catch mine and extract the key. Ascend your 6 flights that were once majestic, circular, with a polished oak banister. Now, the original marbled elegance is muddled after 75 years of trudging feet. Most of the once smooth-edged steps now suffer tiny chips, leaving them ragged, sharp. If nothing else, they're good for scraping the city's droppings from our boots. Always I have the vodka. Tucked in my leatherette bag, it is Georgie, it is a half a gallon, it is 80 proof. In your one and a half room, $120.17 a month Mott Street room, heat and hot water included, sometimes. You lay out the Tropicana and the seltzer and the ice. We pretend mimosas, even as we sneer at the idea of Sunday brunch, too bourgeois, too cloth napkin and silver spoon for us latter-day bohemians. Our currency is intermittent employment and artistic fervor. Still, we mime sophistication with our plastic champagne flutes, tall and regal and with disposable bases. You insist on these after you found them way back in the highest kitchen cupboard. We decide these long-stemmed beauties were left by the former tenant who had to flee in a midnight dash just ahead of a spurned suitor. We christened her Charlene, an aspiring opera singer who practiced her scales constantly, neighbors and sing-along yowling cats be damned. She kept her throat subtle with little sips of warm, slippery elm tea from her plastic champagne flute, her pinky finger extended. It was her reward to herself when she successfully hit a high D. We needed no reward to toast our bond. It's as old as us, older even, say our moms, Flo and Barb. They swear they had us side by side. One moans, one groans, both push, boom. We all squeal as one. Who needs proof? The word of Flo and Barb, who have a straight line to God, is enough. That same God is in our plan, too. We count on him to call the moms to him every Sunday, every week, 11 a.m., and he does with joy. Off they go to pray, hands heavenward, heads bowed, breath sweet, please, 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 they beg, show your heart. Our girls, you know who we mean, make them good, or at least not so bad. Mott Street, 11 a.m. We toast to Sunday. We sing it out, powered by our gumption of having endured the week of demands, daily insults, and city slickers, insisting that we smile and preen and generally act like a credit to our sex. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rhonda. Now we have our feature, Jane LaCroix. We're so happy to have her here today with us. It was such a thrill to work on Jane's book. I've been a fan of her work since I first heard her. She has a poem about a praying mantis, and it's about a relationship, and the lovers is a praying mantis who wants to devour her lover. And who would think a praying mantis is very sexy? Well, Jane LaCroix can make a praying mantis very sexy. And when I heard that poem, I was really a fan, and then I've always heard her work over the years. And when I asked her to be a part of Pink Trees Press and do her book, she said yes, and I was so happy. So here she is to share her work, Spell Book of Ordinary Mistakes, Jane LaCroix.
Thank you. There we go. So, yeah, I mean, come on. Linda was like, can I publish a book of yours? And I was so happy. And Pink Trees Press, look at the great authors that are on it. For example, these two over here. So in honor of Linda doing her Abecedarian poems today, I'm going to do a little Abecedarian. There's an Abecedarian in the middle of this, okay? Did you know your name is my favorite word, my favorite word? Did you know your name is my favorite word, my favorite word? I like your dictionary. I like your dictionary. I like your dictionary. Ready to enter my vocabulary. You can take any word I say and make it mean what you want it to mean. You can take any word I say and make it mean what you want it to mean. I'll be your letter, read me, read me. I'll be your letter, read me. I'll be your letter, read me, read me. I'll be your letter, read me. Astonish, beloved, come divine ecstasy. fragile, gorgeous, hard imagination. Just kiss, lust, my naughty obsession, possession, questionless risk, shake, take, unanimous, voluptuous whirl. X marks the spot, yes, zealous. X marks the spot, yes, zealous. Did you know your name is my favorite word? My favorite word. You may think this is literary, but it is salient of my itinerary. I like the way you articulate every sentence. Sentence me, sentence me. Use me in a sentence, spell me. You put a spell on me. Sublime, silent E. I'll be your letter, read me, read me. I'll be your letter, read me. Did you know your name is my favorite word? So there was the abecedarian in the middle of that. Sexiest words in the English language, in my opinion. Right? Astonish, beloved, come, divine, ecstasy, fragile, gorgeous, hard, imagination, just, kiss, lust, mine, naughty, obsession, possession, questionless, risk, shake, take, unanimous, voluptuous, will. X marks the spot is cheating. Yes, zealous. You can find that poem in my first book from Three Rooms Press, Signature Play. This is Spellbook of Ordinary Mistakes. It's my new book from Pink Trees Press, thanks to Linda KLEINBUB and her abecedarians. Have you ever made a mistake? Oh my God. So, this is the first thing in the book. We are made of division. From our first cell, we split and keep splitting. Leave what we are for new leaving. Dividing, dividing, dividing. That poem was just used in this art piece in DC, and it got written up in the Washington Post, and it's going to be coming out tomorrow. And so my name is in the Washington Post with that poem from the book. Isn't that so cool? Sad story. You don't have to suffer to make great art, but great art is the best you can make of your suffering. So tell your sad story to the crumpled boxed ears on the sides of hurt heads of today and tomorrow. Yesterday is a trophy of trials collecting dust on its shine. Paint and draw your sad pictures for eyes that float their corneas in tears. One tiny boat out on the black river at night with a light so little and bright I see it from here and it gets in my poem, and I don't know to whom that boat belongs or from where it is or goes. No matter, the photons make the poem glow. The captain sings a song that makes you cry. Every journey is sad if you hear it from beginning to end. Listen, picture it, before it's light and after love. The spoils. The spoils last for 1 second. 1 second lasts 1,000,000 years. I want to feed you food that makes you hungrier, quench you with what makes you thirst. Our beds we never sleep in. Our time expands as it ticks away. Nothing belongs to us. Everything is ours. The sky is our ceiling, the world our map. It is not legal and it is not wrong. Stolen by humans, given by gods. Concealed, we are unwrapped. Spoken for, we are free. We're spoiled, we're starving. There is no money. The tree is laden with gifts. Thank you. Introduction. Imagine, I was a child, someone's baby, born, had nightmares, here I am. Do not introduce yourself. I hate that game. I don't want to smile and shake your dick. I'll invite you home, teach you some tantric sex if you're flexible. Impress me. That boy over there asked me why I talk so much sex. He wasn't listening. I smile too hard. My teeth are yellow liars. Cactus. I didn't believe my grandmother's warning. Cactus needles weren't a soft aura that surrounded the cactus in its entirety, like a veil of still smoke suspended. I could not stop myself. When no one was looking, I approached the succulent on the windowsill with its dust. I reached out to touch needles that pricked my skin. Shocked in pain, my hand jerked away. My breath taken, tears sprang to my eyes. I swallowed them, having been warned. I was 5 years old and I knew better, and I didn't, and I do to this day touch cactus. Do you guys remember Viewmasters? Those toys? So this is my first sexual memory, like the first time I had sexual feelings. It's called Viewmaster. Pinocchio, naked, bare, blonde, wooden boy body, long, capable of elongating nose. It was a reel from a set of classic stories. One cell depicted Geppetto beaming upon his newly erected creation. How it thrilled me to stare through the keyhole effect of this most miniature theater peek at a nude boy. Pulse, applause in my ears. I was caught by this picture. I could not name the curious way it held me. My red Viewmaster thrust into me that first image to milk from blood what longing knows my heart to pine. Thank you. Wonderful. My brother found the carcass under the pantry. We studied the dead, crouched on haunches, ears like paper flattened to the skull, wrinkles petrified on the stretched taupe skin, hair gone, the sunken eyes slit, frozen grimace, sharp white teeth bared, the largest carcass we had ever discovered. Mummified, mysterious, unrecognizable, whole, more exciting than owl pellets or fish heads hidden in tree stumps by animals. Spring reveals the earth's dark face, peering from packed melting snow. Life, so dirty, rich, the crawly things shiny, the carcass matte, surprisingly weightless as we lifted it into the large orange Tupperware tub. Chihuahua, cat, raccoon, skunk. The most delicate treasure. We carried it carefully on our laps on bus 5 to school down Kings Highway. Bumps in the road memorized. We didn't let it bounce. The plastic sarcophagus proudly presented to the teacher. She didn't know what it was either. The kids all screwed up their faces and said, "Ew!" No one seemed to understand. We had discovered death and would keep it. We took it home and loved it for years, looking under the lid to marvel often. The silence of it, the fixed expression. This discovery was important. We used it to honor the questions we let go unanswered. Even after death, the body is capable of birth, delivering wonder through the material of time. Thank you. The ropes. First time I was tied up with a rope was in 3rd grade. He was in 4th, playing good guys versus bad guys in the woods after school. Who was which never really mattered. Just whatever team you were on, we all took the same bus home. Stored props in forts. We built, we kept bottles, rocks, spade, rope, scrap, chasing, laughing, hiding. Andrew caught me, drew me to him, panting, breathless, red with life, suspended sweat, beating diamonds in his dark, velvety crew cut. Our respective teammates scattered. He focused, I fought, until I had to stop to catch my breath. He set me up against a tree, clumsily wrapped rope around my grandma's house while she played you, and your voice made my whole body hum. I am filled with your acoustic electricity. You are huge, but you can enter me, be through me, transport me. I used to curl up under your baby grand self when no one was playing you, and feel your hollow weight, like a wooden cloud looming above me on those delicate, curvy legs. I was sure I heard you breathing. Your smooth brass petals cool to my hand. When I pushed them, you made a swallowing sound deep inside you, deep inside me. Even though it is impossible, I know we are in love. Even when you're upright, even spinette at school, you shake my whole body and give me goosebumps. Piano, I want to learn how to do you right. You make me feel so good. Thank you, piano. Love, Jane. All right. Rain bonnet. He was the only one who could do her hair. She got it done once a week and set it under the bubble hairdryer at Alex's beauty parlor. She used to pass the Tic Tacs on her way to the clear plastic rain bonnet at the bottom of her purse. When it was gray and drizzling out, she would reach in to get it, open it from its accordion fold, place it gently over her hair and tie it under her chin, and then give me a white Tic Tac. Thank you, Grandma. Now the rain tastes like mint. All right. Where are they now? Those teeth I left under the pillow. My doll, Rubba-Dubba, I could take in the bath. Light Bright, my viewmaster, the first boy who kissed me. Where are they now? My first journal, it was gray with a Jack-in-the-Pulpit on the cover. My Freezy Freakies gloves and moon boots from the 1980s. My beautiful long black coat that looked like a Victorian dress. Where are they now? The brown in my hair, my menses, the babies my children were, my mother, father, my siblings and their pain, all the poems and songs, I will always know where they are. The macaroni necklace, my wedding ring, I hope I don't lose. Thanks. Bread and butter. I only wanted bread and butter, a natural aversion to every meat. My teeth chewed and chewed. It never dissolved enough to swallow. Opa's false teeth flying across the table to frighten me into eating on Wednesday night's family dinner at my grandparents' with all my aunts and uncles, who were only young adults themselves. My brother and I were the only children back then. I grew up in the house my Opa grew up in. His childhood room was my room, where he woke every morning and walked to the same school I did. He used a different route. Streets changed when the Tappan Zee Bridge was built. He loved port wine and the ocean. He took us to the beach every year and told us about the Navy and how you got all new teeth when you joined. The boys shaved your head the first time you crossed the equator, how you have no right to complain, you are so lucky, and clean your plate. Everyone snored, dozing at the TV. I was not tired at night and inspected their faces at rest, tried to match their breathing, looked more closely at the objects in the house. Their dresser mirror reflecting my face, oil of Olay, hairbrushes full of their hair, white doilies covering the surfaces. My great-grandmother had been a lace maker from the old country and is said to have made table linens for the White House. And if they are not there, where would they be? I watched the Tappan Zee Bridge get replaced. Opa's teeth, my teeth, changing places. All the things outplaced. The bridges like steel lace flying across the table. Chew and chew, but cannot swallow. Thank you. Do I have time for one more? Like, I forgot to pay attention to the time. Okay. So here's my book. I have a couple copies to sell. I actually sold out. I ordered more. It's so exciting. And really, language is our superpower. We can scribble lines and make sounds and read them and communicate with each other, and I'm just saying these sounds and you're picturing the stuff that I'm saying, and when you do it, that happens too. And language is like this amazing thing, and I just thank you for being in words with me. Life during wartime. I really kind of just read this in order, for fun. I was just feeling like that today. Sometimes you want to be in order instead of chaos, right? Thank you for your order. Life during wartime. This is about my other set of week at the big USO event. They were badly beaten afterward. How many acts of kindness and appreciation results in horror. My grandfather only wore long pants. A bayonet scar marked the length of the back of his leg. I caught a glimpse of it a couple times. Whoever gave it to him was upholding something beloved too. He had stories, pugilist, tap dancer, motor pool, gardener, but only told what he wanted to tell. He rarely answered my questions or elaborated on what interested me the most, the scar, and how he slept warm enough in the ice house he protected at night for the family business. And were there pushcart wars and electric cars and farms uptown in New York City? Maybe humans shouldn't be saved. We should perish. Earth better off without us. A little drunk, but I remember paying the bartender. My head swarming with war stories. Who is the bad guy? According to whom? Stumbling onto the same streets as my grandparents 100 years ago. Life during wartime is always a war, always fighting, and more alcohol. There's no such thing as better off. Thank you very much. I'm Jane LaCroix. And my bands are the Icebergs and Ohmslace, and I have records streaming on every platform, so thanks.
All right, we're going to take a watermelon break. If we could have a couple of people volunteer to help distribute it, I'll cut it up and then we'll put it on some plates and we'll pass it out. There's a blue and white cooler here. It has little bottles of water. You can help yourself. If you need to find a bathroom, there's a public bathroom at Tompkins Square Park, but there's a couple of restaurants. If you're very nice, you might be able to sneak into the restaurants. And thank you, and I hope you stick around for the second half of the show. Archibald up next. I see Oliver's here. Steve Blaine, are you still here, Steve? Yes. Yes, Steve Blaine. Jim Coulter, are you still here, Jim? Yes. And then another Steve with a B, and I can't read your last name. Steve Baker. Ah, Steve Baker in the. All right, Steve Baker's in the house. And then we'll go to the second page. So great. So we'll go back to our regular programming, and here is Oliver Archibald, sweetest guy I know. And I think you've been here before, right? Your first time in the garden. First time in the garden, you guys. Oliver.
So, I'm going to read something fairly brand new. It's based off of the near. Oh, sorry. Are we good? Okay, yeah. This is called Titus, Tower of Frost, and it's based off of the first 5 books of Castlevania. Ever pressing forward, his path set once before him, views of the tinted plateau guided by the winds to pair, a sapphire skyline as he walks with his regained purpose set aside from calamity that once distorted the foundations of what once was his own personal home. 4 years before, only set on aspiration, as such would have it to be needed in his trying journey, yet nor a day where the blade from his cutlass shall rust, not a single hour where his suit is torn. Tranquil stone he sits upon vast moments of recollection. As the flickering of the lights surround him, he waits only one more hour. He waits yet to hear the articulation from him once again. He waits for years as the blade will dull before him, but remain razor sharp. Seeking meaning in the midst of fade, one day gratitude will be found upon you, gracing you with its everglaze. Even with the most damning conceptions, there will always be moments to be thankful and to prove your environment. Until then, for the very day, there will always be a moment where the storm will remember your name. Thank you.
Thank you, Oliver. All right, now we have Steve Blaine. First time here, I think?
I'm a virgin to this.
First, he's a virgin to Fahrenheit Open Mic. Welcome, welcome. Do you want to sit or do you want to stand?
Old friend from Inspired Word.
Ah, an Inspired Word guy. Do you want to sit or stand?
Word.
Do you want to sit or stand?
Thanks for putting this together. It's a song I wrote for Central Park. The sky is blue, the branches sway. I could spend all night and day in Central Park, Manhattan, New York. The buskers busk, the dancers dance, couples kiss and make romance in Central Park, Manhattan, New York. Artists line the promenade, their portraits look so fine. The famous carousel is spinning all the time. The castle's called Belvedere. What a view you'll see from here. Central Park, Manhattan, New York. Ride a boat on the lake. It's not too deep, for heaven's sake, in Central Park, Manhattan, New York. It doesn't cost a penny, a euro, yen, or rand, but it's worth $1,000,000 strolling hand in hand. Ride a boat on the lake. It's not too deep, for heaven's sake, in Central Park, Manhattan, New York. No, Central Park, Manhattan, not the Bronx or Staten, no. Central Park, Manhattan, New York.
Very nice. Thank you so much. I hope you come back to the next show. Now we have Jim Coulter. Welcome, Jim.
We have any Billy Joel fans here today?
Yeah.
Any Donald Trump fans? Okay, let's have some fun. Got a call from old Don. His last election was real close. Said he couldn't go on the American way. Election denial, went on trial, sold the Bible, and now he'd boast. Going back to the White House for an indefinite stay. I will tell you to vote for me just this one time. Then you Christians will never have to vote again. Pay no attention to my convictions for my crimes. 'Cause we're gonna fix it all and you'll love me then. I don't need you to worry for JD 'cause he's all right. And you childless cat ladies just make me groan. I don't want you to tell me it's time to go home. So we're gonna fix it all, democracy overthrown. I'm so mad, Sleepy Joe withdrew on constitutional coup. And Kamala, is she Indian or black? She ought to know by now. I had to be a big shot last time. I had to prove it to the crowd. Insurrection. And the fake news press was so freaked out. You can't argue with a crazy mind. You ought to know by now. But you may be right. I may be crazy. And it just may be a lunatic you're voting for. POW John McCain captured much to my disdain. Charlottesville, white supremacist, Obama's birth certificate. Science a hoax, grab some pussy, mock a reporter's disability. Stir a fate, build a wall, have the Mexicans pay for it all. 12,000 votes, find a I implore. Chisel my face on Mount Rushmore. But sent back home, unpack my cargo. Classified files in Mar-a-Lago. Roe versus Wade. Blown away. What more do I have to say? It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in. There's J.D. Vance in a cat scratch fever trance, digging catnip out of his skin. And Mike Pence is off in the corner. Into the mirror he'd gaze and check. Can somebody please help me get this noose off of my neck? My pillow guy's a conspiracy theorist with no proof but stirs up all of this strife. He's been screaming about Dominion voting machines and probably will be for life. Shout out to my big campaign donor. She looks beautiful strutting about. Wearing her medal, what an honor. Looks better on her than some dead soldier, no doubt. The crowd's wearing ear patches this Saturday. Campaign manager gives me a smile, 'cause he knows that it's me they're coming to see, ranting and raving for a while. And clad in black robes are my 3 appointees, conservatives on the Supreme Court. Clarence Thomas was supposed to be here too, but he got a free ticket to another lavish resort. And Project 2025's like a carnival, as your freedoms will slowly disappear. While Broad Boys sit behind bars and cry out from afar and say, man, can't you pardon us out of here? Then jaws drop at the magical, bedazzling sight by the door. As in waltzes stormy, orange turds getting horny, hush money's gushing out of his gourd. Sing us a song, you're the Teflon Don, and keep yourself out of jail tonight. 'Cause if you land in prison for sedition, there won't be a pussy in sight.
Now we got Steve Baker in the house. And while Steve is getting set up, I'm going to read another poem from my book. This is another abecedarian called Gas Tanks Park. Anybody who knows Queens, there used to be gas tanks. They used to use it on the traffic report. And now it's in Elmhurst, actually. Elmhurst gas tanks, they used to be called. And now there's a beautiful park there, and I went there often during the pandemic, and this is called Gas Tanks Park. Answering emails that are backlogged for days, clear the electronic clutter darkening your path. Evolve as the earth revolves, frolicking along the way. Gently tread along the highway, cross the overpass to investigate Gas Tanks Park. Journey to bluebells and cherry blossoms. Keep a safe distance living in isolated city. Modern-day medicine man never saw this coming. Only God knows how it will end. People are dying as we live in quarantine. Relax if you can. Solitude is unseen torment. Under house arrest, we are innocent of violations of the law. We work to reduce this plague's Xeroxing abilities, yearning for human interaction while zooming for recovery. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Baker. Show of hands, how many of you were at Woodstock?
You want a video, right?
You want a video? No, just a couple of pictures. I typically don't ask that at a gig, but since you are my demographic, I'll lower this a little bit. All right, here we go. Lower.
Lady from the garden.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just want to make sure I can hear it.
We're deaf.
Purple haze all in my brain. Lately things, they don't seem the same. Acting funny, but I don't know why. Excuse me while I kiss the sky. Purple haze all around. Don't know if I'm coming up or down. Am I happy or in misery? Whatever it is, that girl put a spell on me. Help me, ah, help me. Ah, no. You know what I'm talking about, Phil. Purple haze all in my eyes. Don't know if it's day or night. You got me blowing my mind. Tomorrow or just the end of time. Help me, ah, help me. Ah, no. Thank you. Thank you.
That was Mr. Steve Baker. Thank you,
Thanks,
Steve
everybody.
Baker. Now we have Mr. Peter Radley. Welcome, Peter, to the stage. Then we will have Linda Lerner, CO MOED, Pete Dolack, and Joe Sandler. All right, Peter Radley, everybody. Welcome.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah.
That sounds good. Good? Okay. All right. This is, I was down in Washington a few weeks ago, and it was really humid and sweaty and awful, just like it is here sometimes. So most of these are going to be wet kind of poems. Washington, D.C. Shirt seems not to dry, walking among the many. Not seeing, none understand, for damp, this still a swamp, hidden. That was oh, no.
Get close to the microphone, yes.
You can't get it? Oh, okay. Hello, how's that? All right, I apologize for the first. Okay, Washington, D.C. Shirt seems not too dry, walking among the many, not seeing, none understand, for damp, this still a swamp, hidden, living, forgiving yet, the tears are shared eternal. Please don't clap. Okay. Reprise. Restless. What is it that only buying another book will give me that reprise? No, I don't have to read it. Best just to carry it room to room. Soon another will come to join, to lie anew. Here's one. This is part of the water, but this was a flood from the Dubai. 5 camels buoyed together among white cars floating over roads, confident, never this before, fearless, deep, too deep, float everywhere. What is there left to drink? From puddles deep, char hot, denying lies that is there. Not a dream, the waiter is wet, not going away. Whatever is red, a truth. Alrighty. This one's called Dripping Humidity. Sitting too hot to go out, wanted sour shoes to wander, shirt to drip, damp, humid inside. I have shoes that do not matter. Thank you. Lackluster, waiting, sitting, newspapers, reading, too much standing, shadows, roaring, traffic, never moving, tears flow. When can we leave? Ready, bags full, beach, parking, high, water swirl. Why did we come here? Home next. And the last, but hopefully not least, this is called Assumption. Assumption. We try to grow our lives from where we are led, believing what is given to believe what is true. Why then is there another need? Their truth or their lies? For another, not you. Is there an alternative way? This change will not be accepted. Perhaps if people took it upon themselves in a gentle way, no need for dismaying. Thank you.
Yes, next we have Linda Lerner.
I think, is this okay? Okay? Yeah. What a beautiful day to be in the park. This is one of the rare ones. This is a short fiction thing I recently wrote. A China doll. He might have been holding it for only a few seconds when it slipped from his grasp. Didn't break, but the sight of all those crack lines, the look of horror on his face, watching them spread. He was to die for, she said, standing up to talk, an expression girls once used. Our eyes were on her, not him. Her blonde hair cascading down her tiny frame shone like a light on us. Those lines we'd photoshopped away felt a little more visible now. She looked as though she'd been taken right out of the box she'd been packaged in and put up for sale. We bought it and didn't. The truth lies somewhere in between. I often wished I could have boxed myself at a certain time of my life, like those dolls of memory. I recall someone once saying, "Youth is attractive, everyone young is," something like that. "It's my special day," she says, unexpectedly running into him on her way to do early morning errands. He didn't live in the area. Something about visiting a friend or relative, someone who does. She's sunshine happy. He likes the way it feels and isn't in a hurry to leave. Having misheard, for my special day, missed where she was heading and said something about a beautiful fall-like day, unexpected in July. My birthday month, she says, leading him onto the right path. He catches on, wishing her, asking what plans she has and if she would like one of those summer storms where the weather can suddenly turn without notice. No place to hide, seek shelter. She mentions her birth date, day, month, year. Our eyes follow the trajectory of her gaze, where the smile, like an injured bird, slowly begins to take flight, picks up speed, and vanishes. Do I have time for that? A minute, yes. Unprotected. My cat has been breaking into my poems lately, among other things. Unprotected. A couch I paid a lot for, covered to protect. I'm seeing a piece of its earthy brown suede through a hole Sarah clawed. In a rush of recklessness, pulled the cover right off. Did it even as I saw my cat's future scratch marks trailing toward me on it. Sagging area where I'd lie with her, unwind my day. A mark left from something spilled. Brought back a long ago trip to Mexico with my first lover. Illegal stashed with our dirty clothes on the plane back. And a couple seated near me in a restaurant yesterday. About the age we were then. Talking loud enough for me to pick up the flight path their words took. Follow it, break its literal barrier. To climb and keep climbing. In a second's head turn, gone, the we of them with it. Eyeing the couch now, unprotected, and knowing the cost, I'm okay with it. Thank you. Thank you.
The fabulous C.O. MOED is next. Thank you, Linda Lerner, for that. That was lovely. And here comes C.O. MOED.
I'm good. What I worry about. Okay, see, this is what I worry about. When you're alone and I'm gone, you will look unloved. And everyone knows widowers slide downhill into stained shirts and raggedy pants that should have been thrown out years ago. So I must know the exact date, the exact time, the exact moment it will all be over so I can teach you how to use the washer and dryer. I don't even know where to begin. This washer and dryer that we now own together after several near disasters, including blowing all the fuses in the building on Memorial Day weekend and getting angry texts from the better off neighbors in their country homes because they were getting panic texts from the super terrified of losing his job. But I do know the power of clean clothes bought used, helped me cross streets uninvited to new neighborhoods, camouflaging an empty wallet and a bewilderment at table manners. Thank God I was a fast mimic. And when in 1987, a washing machine at the Russians on 13th Street ruined all my clothes from a pen left behind, I dreamt a washer-dryer in my own home. Just like the other neighbors, sneaking machines in and running power from deep inside the sidewalk. So lucky that rich aunt died, left me sudden money from our small unit and a blessing from a cheap therapist assuring me I was not betraying my family and joining the bourgeoisie. That first day, all hooked up, I washed everything I owned. And then washed all the laundry of all the boyfriends who traveled through lonely decades, embracing my small unit more than they embraced me, folding and stacking their clean t-shirts. Elizabeth joked, "You love that machine more than them." Finally, all their laundry left in suitcases and mailed boxes, finally alone, finally happy, you appeared in a hurricane. And soon, I was rushing laundry so I could spend more time with you. I knew we were destined till death do us part when 30 years after my small unit arrived, it broke for the last time. And after blowing all the fuses on Memorial Day weekend, all we did was replace an appliance, not an embrace. Our clothes, clean and camouflaging, help us cross streets uninvited to new neighborhoods, fool everyone we're comfortable, have no worries in our almost empty wallets, just annoying joy and admiration. Yes, I must know the exact date, the exact time I will leave this mortal coil. I must teach you all my special tricks of stain removal, what clothes get air dried, and which detergents to use so that when I'm no longer here, you will still be loved by me. Thank you.
Thank you, C.O. MOED. That reminds me of when I first got my very first dishwasher. I was so thrilled after I didn't have to wash dishes by hand and I had a dishwasher to do that. So, yay for machinery, right? You think? All right, we got 10 people left, and I'm not sure if we can go past Sally here. Is it okay if we go past 5 a little bit? So otherwise, no intros. Stick to the quick. Try to do 4 minutes or less if you can. We really want to get everybody on. So let's have Pete Dolack, then Joe Sandler, Olivia Grayson, Pete Salamia, Lehman, Judith Lee Herbert, Alan Yashin, Meredith Clinton, Ernest Woodley, and Fran Luck. So we want to get everybody up. So let's hear it now for Pete Dolack.
Hello, everyone. Now, I think if you have a new book out, it's officially new for a year, which means I have for another 2 days, this is a new book. What do we need bosses for? You can get it from a author's discount. Okay.
I heard book for several years, so.
Okay. All right. And now, on with the poetry. All right. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Mr. Softy is everywhere. All morning, all day, all night. He knows when you're home. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you're asleep. He knows if you've been bad or good. Mr. Softy is everywhere. He's outside my window at 8 a.m. offering coffee and scrambled egg ice cream. He's back an hour later offering ice cream stuffed with a blueberry muffin. He's back at noon offering a BLT ice cream for lunch. He's waiting for the neighborhood kids all afternoon, his ice cream siren song heard for blocks around. At dinner time, he cruises slowly, peddling kielbasa ice cream in case someone burns dinner. I do live in Greenpoint. All through the night, he sells his wares, ice cream, ice cream, ice cream. Mr. Softy is everywhere. Even at midnight, when I couldn't sleep, Mr. Softy tried to sell me an ice cream sundae with a sleeping pill inside. After a few weeks, I grew accustomed to his familiar bells. I realized I would never have to visit a supermarket anymore. When it's time for dinner, I just wait for Mr. Softy to drive down the street. Fridays are especially nice because he usually has extra helpings of his smoked salmon ice cream. No need for cat food either. Now when Tabby meows for food, we give her mice-flavored ice cream, although it does get messy when she pounces. And when I ran out of dishwashing liquid, I was able to buy detergent ice cream, a great time saver, all in one product. Soon, I realized ice cream was the answer to all household problems. Who needs toothpaste when you can brush with fluoride ice cream? I even adjusted the shower head so I can shower with ice cream, and we sure were relieved that night we ran out of birth control when we saw Mr. Softy come round the corner. Even Mr. Softy uses his ice cream. He runs his truck on his own product, it turns out. Doesn't matter any longer if they run out of regular at the gas station. Now when my car is low, I just tell Mr. Softy, fill her up. And why stop there? Maybe someday we won't need nuclear power plants anymore. Harnessing the power of atoms, that's kid stuff next to harnessing the power of ice cream. Just imagine, a ready-made power source. Who needs the Shoreham nuclear power plant when we can have the Shoreham Mr. Softy plant? The ultimate in renewable resources. Someday, our great-grandchildren will be mining an asteroid when they'll hear that familiar song on their space communication system. They'll look up and there'll be Mr. Softy docking his spacecraft. But what if an alien civilization is watching Earth and discovers the secret of Mr. Softy? Humankind would have the key to the universe in ice cream. Alien invasions would be sure to follow. Screaming armadas of deadly spacecraft would converge on the solar system from all directions. Interplanetary war, the Milky Way in flames, the very future of humanity would hang in the balance. As half the galaxy battled in an interstellar war to the finish, each species desperately fighting, knowing that the civilization that controls Mr. Softy will control the galaxy. You know, who needs those kinds of problems? On second thought, just eat your ice cream. Or better still, stay indoors when you hear Mr. Softy. Your great-grandkids will thank you.
All right, we got Joe Sandler with his backup band, PTR KOZLOWSKI, and I think he just recruited Pete Dolack.
Ready for the song?
Okay.
Mr. Softy song?
All right.
1, 2, 3. The creamiest, dreamiest, soft ice cream. His name is Mr. Softy. For a refreshing, delightful treat, look for Mr. Softy. S-O-F-T-E-E, Mr. Softy. Shake it up, baby, now. Twist and shout, twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, now. Come on and work it on out. Join it. Hey, work it on out. You know you twist so good. You know you got me going now. I can't hear you, just like I knew you would. Well, shake it up, baby, now. Come on, twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, now. Come on and work it on out. You know you twist your little girl. You know you twist. You know you got me going now. Just like I knew you would. Shake it up, baby, now. Come on, twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby, now. Come on and work it on out. I can't hear you. Hey, you twist your little girl. You know you twist so fine. You know you got a little closer now. And let me know you're mine. Well, shake it, baby, now. Shake it up, babe. Shake it, baby, now. Well, shake it, baby, now. Oh,
Thank you.
All right, that was wonderful. Thank you. Olivia Grayson is next. Thank you, Joe Sandler with his backup band, Pete Kozlowski, and we have now the lovely Olivia Grayson.
Hello. So, just preface, I read one that's going to be part of a companion piece, and if you can understand it, had the Underground Man been around after late 20th century, 21st century. Okay, here we go. The perils of sleep deprivation in 4 parts. I cannot sleep. I have not slept for days. I cannot because I am suffering from existential dilemmas and continually forced to confront my flaws and inadequacies. I've euthanized an entire box of sleepy time, herbal, nothing doing. I'm insanely sleepy. Have you ever been insanely? You are insane. You must be. Hello, hello, don't go. I cannot sleep. You are not insane, not in the least. You are cerebrally challenged. I didn't mean that. What I meant was don't leave me. Mark my words. When I get some sleep, which I am longing to do, I will sue Celestial Seasonings for misrepresenting their product. Oh, how that sleeping bear in his red stocking cap taunts me. Will you please stop twitching your legs like that? It is profoundly annoying and interfering with the sleep I cannot accomplish. Part 2. I want to feel normal. Normal does not exist. Normal is. So is reality. Do you realistically agree? You do not have to, because I'm always right. Being wrong is good. 2. No, it's not. Being wrong is not good at all. Idiot. Don't you get it? I cannot sleep. Where are you going? You are not an idiot. I cannot sleep. I beseech you, do not abandon me at such a time. Part 3. Are you good? Are you horrible? Are you horribly good or insane like me? I bet you are. Let's toss for it. You lose. I'm a genius. Maybe you like to be wrong. Maybe you are sleepy like me and wrong unlike me at this very moment. By the way, do you like cheese? There are entire wheels of brie at Whole Foods on Houston. Wheels of cheese. What a concept. Incidentally, do you think of cheese when you dream? I do. That is a lie, because I do not dream in such a state. How could I? For crying out loud, traitor, I cannot sleep. Part 4. I am dying to sleep, but I cannot because I am enduring metaphysical impasses, compelled to face my repulsive defects, vile failings and deficiencies. I am pleading with you, stop tapping your fingers like that. It is hellish. It is outrageous. It is preventing me from the sleep I cannot get done. Okay.
I relate.
Companion piece. For the other side. Underground Man. 21st century. Part 1. I'm just waiting for the truck. Okay. Despite getting adequate sleep in 9 parts. Part 1. Hello, goodbye. I cannot stop sleeping. Might you have some Adderall and a mortar and pestle? Or 50 gallons of espresso and a hospital drip? No? No matter. I would not sleep through your offerings, of which you have none. Part 2. This is the sleeping section, got it? This ain't no cat nap. Blast Fugazi, if you will, or Sleazy Joe, though it will not work, not even at 11. You there, goodbye, hello, good night. I am prone on a perfect sleeper as Joey Heatherton spins, shivery delicious, in the creamiest moon misty halter dress. Her breasts really are the best. By a perfect sleeper, Perfect Sleeper by Serta, Part 4. Joey has a lisp, so when she sings Sleeper, oh Joey, Joey, how I would, it sounds like Sleeper, which makes me sleepier than I already am, which is a lot. Firmness and comfort, a perfect combination for a great night's sleep. You'll love it, and I do. Part 5. You there, with a Dynapep. Part 6. I'm out. Part 7. I cannot sleep. I cannot stop sleeping. I would stop if there's something worth stopping sleeping for. Part 8. I haven't always been this way. Once I could not sleep, you may know from previous miserable encounters. Part 9. It has been suggested I consult with a medical professional for proper evaluation and guidance. Guidance, I say. No one can guide me. I will guide myself right to sleep at any and all hours. Good day and good night. Had he been alive.
All right, thank you, Olivia. I hope she sleeps well tonight. Pete Salamita is up next. Let's share for Pete. Pete does a great series. He does videotapes, and it's called Storytelling on Orchard Street. It is really a wonderful service to the literary community because he takes his time to interview writers and other people, and maybe he'll tell you a little bit about that. And here's Pete Salamita.
Thank you, Linda. Let's give Linda KLEINBUB and the Pink Trees Press people a big hand. Philip, Madeline. It's called Church is Still Here. I can't tell if I like pain or pain just likes me. Am I chasing it or is it following me? My mouth is on fire, but I don't say anything. I drag the past around like a heavy Samsonite, packed with things I should get rid of, but decisions aren't my thing. I strike a match to feel the burn. It's kind of a ritual thing, like watching a movie so sad you feel like you're in it. Because you see a part of yourself in images that tell a story about a life that went sideways instead of moving in sync. Some things fell in the gutter and other things kicked to the curb. Not sure if I'm for real or just a statistic. I took a chance on the lottery, but I'm not big on winning. I take a look in the mirror and see the results of having mostly misgivings, so there ain't much more to say when you are breaking and entering into a life that you just want to be in. Thank you. This is called Smoky Notes. There's no sense being stuck in the past, she said to herself as tears hit her pillow, and she sobbed herself to sleep, drifting to a place where life was full of the things she had missed by traveling all those years, plying her craft on stages and bands that once had it all, entertaining those seeking truth in blues-soaked rock and roll. They could never understand how much she gave of herself, broken relationships that fueled songs of heartache and regret, love that left when the last chords rang out and it was time to get back on the bus again. The lonely wail of the mouth harp speaking the words you can't say anymore because the pain is too real, not just a song on the charts that get reviewed as if it was something else. No one understands anymore the shades of gray where blonde once was and wrinkles on a face like the lines of a map of the lonely places you had been to. She can give it all in smoky notes coming from the depth of your soul. It's all that is left to do. For the woman only found true love in the melody composed by the trials and tribulations of life. And my last one, Red Velvet. My mother, God bless her soul, dropped me on my head when I was just 2, getting ready for the show of Burlesque Betty, the queen of Red Velvet. She made the men swoon in a basement club downtown off the avenue. She shook her tassels to the voodoo beat of I Put a Spell on You. Listening hoots and hollers from the lubricated crowd, looking for cheap thrills from the doldrums of life. I never saw her on stage, I only heard about her moves. They say she was sultry in a girl next door kind of way, but at home she was someone else. She was just my mom, and life wasn't easy, but she gave it her all. I never wanted for anything, there was laughter shared and good times for two. And from early on I knew that under the stage lights she let out a piece of herself, but saved the best for her son. And despite the bumps and the lumps, I've grown to be a proud man of a woman that lived life fully and on her own terms. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice, Pete Salamita. Thank you so much. And next we have the very famous Lehman Weisselbaum. Let's hear it for Lehman. Lehman used to come to Black and White also back in the day, and we missed that space. It was a great little venue, and unfortunately it closed during the pandemic. But
a lot of places closed.
Yep. But anyway, just a note. There's a place called Amaror Bar, and Philip is a regular there, and they offered us to do a reading there. So we might be able to do a reading. They have a back room and a backyard, so we're going to look into that, and that will be maybe like, maybe in October or November. So look out, social media for that. Here is Lehman.
Black and White Bar was a dive bar that was too good to last, especially when the pandemic announces itself. Yeah, right. Well, we all should be called brevitas. And the man behind the camera, Chris ICONICIDE, he mentioned his book. It's not Pinktree's book, but it's a book that's worth looking at. It's a memoir of growing up a working class Catholic in New York City. New York City, right?
Yeah, Bushwick, third generation Bushwick.
It's in Bushwick.
Well, I'm third generation. No, carry on.
Yeah, and it makes the basketball diaries look like Sunday school. It's the best $10 I ever spent. Weather. No one can say it was too long in coming. The cantilevered hair, their more than usual quiet of the mud, darkened the land. I emerged to forage, quickly like a hat. The lamp under the planet's floor isn't going anywhere. Pod. You named your star. It's a rock on fire. I don't say, but I know. Love the void like a child-sized rag doll. The flares never found you. Don't call it luck. See you. Start my roll. Window frost filters sunlight to its lunar threads. The points on my collar cut to the heart. The hair is calmed, the eyes are stars. Heels lateral to the wind. Looking good while invisible, not if I see you first. And I'll finish with, this is my poem, which is a essay of architectural, is an essay in architectural criticism in the form of a poem. The location, if it helps to know, is my immediate neighborhood in Dumbo, Brooklyn. You're just tall, that's all. Evermore since the ziggurats of the braided beards, height defines money. Built on a stack of indifferent clay, you call down your metal gods to gouge out tearless mole-eye windows. You're a hat that doesn't fit. Not the fluted granite sung by Abbott, Feininger, Crane, never themselves lovers of wealth. You don't soar but thrust. You drop your token angles on unbroken slabs of glass that say wild me, but don't fool us. You plate a cinder block with suspect brick, then walk away, a salute to the suet and cold cheese of Uncle Joe. You don't offend the eye so much as dull it. I confess you have got me on your Bauhaus touches, more big glass against large scrubbed white walls where you can see inside, a big screen and keen track lights, and somewhere the clean, wide couch. A working exercise in minimalism for an anti-gilded age, where the more you pay, the less you get. Late capitalism, laughing you can hear in lazy drips from the tensile wire of your cantilevered balconies. Thank you.
Thank you, Lehman. And we have Judith Lee Herbert up, then Alan Yashin, Meredith Clinton, Ernest Woodley, and Fran Luck. So we got 5 more to go, and our lovely host, Susan Young, was it Susan? Anyway, Miss Young told us we could finish up, so let's hear it for Judith Lee Herbert making her way to the stage. Sally Young, I'm sorry. That's Susan Young and Sally Young, and Sally Young is here. I'm sorry, Sally. All right, Judith Lee Herbert, everybody.
Is this good, everybody? Yes? Louder? I think it has to be up higher. How's that? Better? Okay. So, here we are in a community garden, and this poem is not about a garden, but it's about a feeling that I think all of us have had in New York. By the riverside. Pink clouds above the silver skyline, buff joggers running in chartreuse and salmon tees, Latino men, fishing rods suspended, radios playing music from home. Hasidic boys on bikes, long curls waving in the wind. Blonde, tattooed punk eats at a picnic table. Chinese grandparents dote on a baby in a stroller. African American man whistles by the water. Muslim girl sits by the soccer field in cream-colored headscarf. Indian couple chat on a bench. Gray-haired skater plays the harmonica, glides by. This is our New York, our river, the place we bring our joy and suffering. This is the river I have told my secrets, the river that offers me solace when I mourn. When I was young, my mother sang, her long dark hair in a ponytail, strumming her guitar. Gonna lay down my sword and shield down by the riverside. Thank you. This poem, by the way, I should have mentioned, it just placed in a contest in Babylon, Long Island. Yeah. Thank you, everybody.
Next up, we have Alan Yashin. Let's welcome Alan to the stage. And thank you, everybody who stayed to the end. I appreciate it. And I'm sure our readers did, too.
Now I have to find it after photographing my wife and losing it on my phone. Okay. Here's a little addendum to your great piece on Trump. A short one. The truth. When did the truth become silly putty that could be bent to everyone's whim? So that now what I know for a fact is only a falsehood to him. It didn't used to be this way, not until that disaster in 2018. But then came into vogue one of the most repugnant phrases the world has ever seen. False news, he called it. How ironic, since he was the biggest spreader of lies. His followers believed him, and the world watched the commonality of agreement quickly die. Now there are a plethora of platforms giving the distorted and false a voice. No longer is the truth a hard and fast thing. Now it's just a matter of choice. And I write about this long married couple, Morris and Cynthia, and they have another take on Claire's use of the washer and dryer and like equipment. At least Morris does. Oh God, Morris, it feels like 110 degrees out there today. I couldn't stop sweating. Even the squirrels were so hot they stayed in the shade. I told you, Cynthia, but you had to go out there anyway, didn't you? Well, it was my ladies' group Kung Fu class. I mean, you never can tell when you might need that in New York City now, Morris. That's right, Cynthia. You'll know what to do the next time someone cuts the line at Trader Joe. But now that you're home, take off your leotards and relax. I'd like to do that, but our apartment is as hot as it is outside. Turn on the air conditioner. Sorry, Cynthia, no can do. What? Is it broken? We've got a warranty. Call them up. No, it's fine. Not broken. Then what is it? Problem with the electricity? My God, it's boiling in here. Call management, hurry. Cynthia, well, as a matter of fact, the problem is with the electricity. I don't want to use any. Use any? It's not like we have a limited supply. We can use all we want. There's the problem right there. And I want to be part of the solution, not the problem. The temperatures have risen all over the world because of the environmental conditions that have aided global warming, and I refuse to be part of the problem by using more electricity just because I'm a little hot. Morris, you sound like some kind of public service announcement. Thank you, Cynthia. I accept that as a compliment. And so would the members of the group I belong to, called Don't Be a Fool by Keeping Cool. That's our slogan. But Morris, I'm schwitzing from my kung fu group, and now I have to stay in this hot apartment. You know what they say, Cynthia? Short-term pain for long-term gain. Now, why don't you take a shower? Only remember, cold water only. We don't want to have the boilers turned on, do we? Morris, you're driving me crazy. Don't make me use my kung fu on you. There you go.
Thank you, Alan. And now we have Meredith Clinton, who I believe is first time here. Welcome, Meredith. First time here, right?
Yes.
How'd you find out about us?
Poetry festival.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, exciting. Thank you. Hi. I'm reading from an excerpt from a short story, Work in Progress, that is, the only thing you need to know is that it's a young woman who is cleaning out her late grandmother's house, and it's kind of like a magical cottage in the woods. So these are, I'm skipping around a little bit. It's called Camilla. I climbed the spiral staircase to the 3rd floor, which has 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. The oldest cousins got to stay up here. For privacy, Grandma said. Women need privacy as they get older. The only way to the attic is through a rickety wooden door in the ceiling, the ones with a pull string that feel more like cardboard than actual wood. I reach up, the ancient springs snap and pop to life like a jaw that's been clenched for too long. I feel a portal open, and I climb up into Grandma's hidden tower of secrets. Somehow the air is even denser, though I guess that's how it works. I bend awkwardly down for one more gulp, hoping the drawbridge will hold before stepping fully up into the attic. Chaos. Organized chaos, but still unruly. This I recognize, I think, as a smile curls the edges of my sweaty upper lip. Streaks of sun somehow still shine through the forgotten window panes from opposite ends of the house, illuminating the stale dust that hangs, unmoving. A quick scan reveals stacks of boxes of varying size and age, a few sturdy-looking pieces of old furniture, and a zipped plastic wardrobe tucked in the back corner. I maneuver around the clutter to prop open the termite-eaten windows and feel almost instant relief. Grabbing a couple boxes, I make my way to the open space near the door hole in the floor, where there's a small oval rug with a worn classic floral pattern, as if it's here for this very purpose. Skipping forward a little bit, that's when I spot it. Older than the other boxes, it's more yellowed and the lid is tattered along the edges, as if it had been handled a lot at one point in time. I feel a tingling right up my spine as I retrieve the box and make my way to the clearing. I crouch over what feels like the closest I'll ever be to real-life buried treasure and pause. There's a shift in the air. I look up and even the dust dances a little in the streaks of sunshine, still making its way through in the late afternoon light. I grab the lid lightly with both hands and take a deep breath, bracing myself for the inevitability that it be filled with more of the mundane. Bam! Fuck! I shriek. Something hits the back window. I assume a bird, a big one. I take an extra beat to let my heartbeat settle back down. Jesus, what timing! And shrug it off as coincidence, sending a little prayer out to the birdie. I continue to move the lid out of the way and see the face of my 20-something grandmother staring back at me from a black and white and now yellowed and frayed photograph. From a cursory first glance, I can tell the box is filled with a mix of old photos, newspaper clippings, letters, and the like. I pick up the one on top. Her face is smooth and silky, cheeks bulbous with a touch of blush I see only as shadow. The OG sepia filter Instagram starlets can only replicate. She's staring off frame from beneath an army officer's cap, her hair perfectly roller curled. I see that was a lifelong staple. She looks like a classic movie star from the old films, or the pre-code films, the movies from before there were ratings or rules to abide by. Seeing her in uniform, determined, hopeful, powerful, she would have starred in one of those. There's a wildness in her eye that I recognize. Pencil script on the back identifies her. Camilla Connor, 1943. A new scent wafts up from the box, cutting through the aromatic blend of mothballs and stale human that my nose has long since adjusted to. A hint of rose that only gets stronger the deeper I get. Below the photo is a newspaper clipping with the same image, only blurrier. A local paper from her hometown in Iowa wrote a profile and spent the first 6 paragraphs on her physical appearance, her chestnut brown hair, sparkling blue eyes, and perfect hourglass figure, which she shows off by modeling in the brand new line of women's army uniforms, fashioned with an A-line skirt and cinched waist. I notice her strong jawline. I wish I could say journalism has come further in 80 years. That's, no. Thank you.
Very much. All right, next up we have Ernest Woodley. That's here for Ernest, and then we have Fran Luck, and then that's our show for today. So Welcome, Ernest. Always good to see you.
All right, here we go. Thank you, Linda. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everybody's continues to enjoy themselves. Okay, I'm gonna read a couple of pieces of poems I wrote a few weeks ago. This first one, excuse me, is called Wonderful Voyage. It's a wonderful, wonderful day on one sunny Monday. I go to my neighborhood pond. I see a turtle slowly crawling into pond. Using its small flippers to swim, I stare and watch your voyage. City bus drones behind me. A mother pushes a stroller with a baby nearby. Continue to lean on fence, I watch your shell move along. About 8 minutes later, you made it to the other side. I enjoyed watching your wonderful voyage. Okay, I'm gonna read one more. It's called No Box for Us. Society, don't put us in a box. Don't put walls around us. We're allowed to run free, create, fly high, just to be. Even Jack didn't stay in the box. If he were human, he would breathe. See the sky, see the sun, see the stars, see the children play. So society, don't put us in a box. Not now, not ever. Thank you. Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you very much, Ernest. And last but not least, we have the lovely Fran Luck coming to the stage.
This looks perfect. Okay, great. Thank you. All right.
Welcome, Fran.
Great to be here. Glad to be the last one, in a sense. Okay. The name of this poem is The Letter. It's subtitled Fight, 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 or I'll See You in the Shelter. And it's based loosely on a letter that my landlord actually sent me. I have a very low rent. Okay. The friendly... Into the mic, you're saying? The friendly fascists of Wall Street arrive in your mailbox with a letter on ivory-colored stationery and a fancy letterhead from an upscale law firm specializing in evictions. Their letter informs you that it has been reported that you have bedbugs, roaches, fecal matter on your walls. Your papers are disorganized. You are not compliant with building rules. You are a menace to your neighbors. Furthermore, you keep your pencils in a recycled tin can, not an official mesh pencil holder from Bed Bath & Beyond. Your furniture comes from the streets, rummage sales, and friends, not Raymore and Flanagan. Your clothes are from thrift shops and bargain racks. They are not vintage, just old. The rips in your jeans are from wear and tear, not put there by high-end fashion outlets appealing to poverty chic. In addition, you are too black, too brown, too Puerto Rican, too Mexican, too female, too old, and your rent is way below market value. In short, we do not think you belong in today's East Village. You are not our kind. Our kind is a white college student backed by daddy's money who will rent from us for 2 years and move on, followed in quick succession by another and another and another, and in between we can raise the rent, raise the rent, raise the rent. You, on the other hand, seem to think this is your permanent home. But the art you've created all your life takes up entirely too much space. Your extensive library is a fire hazard. Your cartons filled with flyers from political campaigns and tracts on revolutionary theory are just so much clutter. You will soon be visited by one of our organizing specialists who will tell you what you will throw out and what you may keep. And if you do not comply, there are always the courts. This will be followed by a visit from our exterminator, who will spray your apartment with poison that will make you sick. And one of our financial advisors will then call upon you and make you an extraordinarily low offer of money if you will just quietly disappear. Our ultimate intentions is to organize your life into a dumpster parked by the curb of your former building, where your life's possessions will be open to the wind and rain, and passers-by can casually pick through them, searching for novelty items and take-home pieces of your soul without a second thought. We regretfully take these actions because they're really for the benefit of all concerned. The old must make way for the new. You are the old and we are the new. Your vacant apartment will greatly increase the value of our investment portfolio. You have brought this entirely on yourself by being who you are and being in our way. We wish you the best of luck in all of your future endeavors. Yours truly, etc., etc., and so forth, Esquire. Thank you.
What a way to end the show with a dose of reality there. Thank you, Fran Luck. Thank you, everybody who came here. I'm having a book party at the Jefferson Market Library on Wednesday, September 25th, and it would be very dear to me if you guys show up. And then we have another big reading in the garden on September 29th, which is a Sunday. So let's hope for another beautiful day like this, and I hope we see everybody again. And thank you for being here. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Linda.
Let's get a
great job. Great job.
Let's get a picture of me and you. Jane, let's get a picture of Madeline and Philip. Let's get a picture of us real quick. Judith, can you take a picture of my camera?
Great dress. Wow.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
You're not recording us on ice, are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Evidently, not the correct exit.
Yeah, they have to check the hours. Because
Okay, so let's see. So you're suggesting that.